Hello, good evening, everybody. Hope that you have had a lovely day. My name's Heather Thomas. I'm a songbird stamper and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Fareham in the United Kingdom. I'm here today to share with you a few cards. Just Thursday evening, I pop online and we have a bit of a play together, a bit of a craft together. Who knows what I'm going to make, hey? I do, actually, this time around. So quite luckily, I have got a plan and we'll try and stick to it, I think. And it's using the Boughs of Holly suite of products. Hey Katie, nice to see you all. Hey Lisa, how you doing this evening? So if you're watching on catch up, thank you so much for joining us. It is a live video, but it's available for everybody to watch afterwards. And yeah, if you're around and about, come and pop on and say hey. Hey Mandy, hey Anne Marie. Oh, hey Danielle, nice to see you. Right, these are the dies that go with this beautiful, beautiful stamp set. Hello, Louise. I wasn't sure if you were going to make it to this time, but I'm glad you have. Nice to see you this evening. Hey, Louise. Oh, thanks, guys. Thanks for popping on. Do you know, I've been so busy recently. I don't feel like I've stopped. I'm looking forward to Vienna, going away to On Stage with Stampin' Up! On the 8th. And you know what? I'm looking forward to just stopping for a bit. Actually looking forward to kind of not crafting. Can I say that? I mean, not designing things, and hopefully we'll still do a bit of crafting. But yeah, busy. Craft fair on Saturday, class tomorrow. I had class last Monday, or this Monday just gone. Yeah, crazy week. Hey Eloise. So look at all these dies that you get. So this one here, cuts around this one. Now, can you see that it doesn't look like it fits exactly? And that is because on here, it says images at 90%. It also says two-step, so you can tell it's a two-step stamp, which I'm actually not going to do. I don't actually think, I'm not doing any stamping apart from the sentiment tonight. Oh no, we are doing a little bit. We've got a little bit of stamping to do. So 90% means that these images are not full size. The full size is a bit bigger than what's on the front cover. So that's worth knowing. It's worth looking out for in your stamp sets. So you've got these two here which cut out the holly leaf, and this is a two-step stamp. One goes over the other. You've got this one. Oops. Here, that's the holly berries. That cuts that out. But then you've also got these other ones, and these are your nice, I'm going to use them in a minute, but nice die cuts. And a couple of little sprigs. This one overlays over this one. And these also overlay over these. So you can get the detailed image and you can get the background as well. Feels like something's flashing, but I'm not sure what it is. Feels like one of my lights might be going. And then you've got this label die, which is gorgeous. So one of the reasons I'm using these is because I've got a stamp camp on Saturday. Every 3 months, 4 months, I take part in a stamp camp with a group of demonstrators from around the world. And we come together to bring you some fabulous projects, all designed around a particular suite. And this month's suite is Boughs of Holly. And in with that, we give 13 make and takes. Let me pop these away while I'm chatting. 13 make and takes. We do 13 bonus projects, but we also do challenges and stuff. So if you ever sign up for a stamp camp, you get so much inspiration using the suite of products. And all you pay for is the suite of products. That's it. You just buy the suite from me and you get all of that for free. So I thought we would have a go at some of the challenge cards tonight, and so I can share them at Stamp Camp, but also share them with you guys. So we had 3 challenges. One was a colour challenge. One was a tic-tac-toe challenge. Hello, Mary. Nice to see you this evening. One was a tic-tac-toe challenge, and one was a sketch challenge. So we're going to have a go at the tic-tac-toe and the sketch. Paper, for those who haven't seen it now, I must admit I didn't really like the paper when it first came out. Quite dark, but there's some lovely bits in here. So as you can see, I've been fussy cutting this piece up. This was going to be for something, well, if I get around to it. You've got these lovely poinsettia designs, the reds, Like a camouflage. Yeah, I'm not a massive fan of this, if I'm completely honest, but there's enough in here that I have been able to make fairly good use of the paper. That's quite a nice one if used in moderation. I think decorating a box, something like that would be quite cool. So yeah, quick flick through of the papers there. But yeah, they're quite dark. Not really my cup of tea, but you know, can't love everything, can we? But this one, gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. Hello, Anita. Nice to see you this evening. So let's put those back in there. I'm going to show you this evening how to make a centre step card. Those who know me well know I don't like fancy folds. I know, shock horror. But as a demonstrator, I am here to serve, and I know you guys love fancy folds. So I thought I would do one of those for you. That's actually the right size, which is surprising. So 14 centimetres by 21. You want this. Actually, it's got a crease in it, and I'm not going to... I'll use that for scrap. Let's see if we've got another piece. There we go. Let's grab a new piece. So we want it 14 at 20. Why don't I like fancy folds? I don't know. I can't answer that question, I'm afraid. Because I love building things. I love making 3D projects. I love folding paper. I just don't like fancy folds. And I can't answer why. I love them when they're done. I mean, I love that. I won't show you because it will spoil the surprise. I love them when they're done. But yeah, don't know. Can't answer. So 14 by 21, all the instructions, I am going to do a blog post on this. So all of the measurements will be on a blog post, which I'll link to this video. So don't feel you have to write them all down, but if you want to, grab a pen and paper. It's 14 by 21. And then on the short side, line it up at the 3 centimetre mark. And we want to cut, this is where it can get a bit annoying. We want to cut from 2.5 centimetres to 13 centimetres. But of course down here, I've got the metric guide, the imperial guide. Only the fancy folds that I can do, the rest can stay elsewhere. Yeah, if you know them, you know them, but I don't know any of them. Even with this one, I had to look up the instructions again. So I want to cut from 2.5 centimetres, but I've only got the imperial down here. So I know that's 1 inch. I want to cut all the way down to 13 centimetres. So all I do, this is me personally, I look here and I look at 13 centimetres and I go, it's about 5 1/8 of an inch. So I know I want to cut down from 1 inch. And the way to do that is just to bring the blade so it's in line with the 1 inch here. And then push down and cut until you get to 5 1/8. And then move it along. So it's a bit half metric, half imperial. And it's just, you can buy a metric blade guide for this trimmer. And then you want to do the other side here the same. So 11. And again, you want to line this up with the 1 inch, then push it down, and then come down to 5 1/8 of an inch. And then find your scoring blade, because if yours is like mine, it's done a runner. And then we're going to score it on the long side now at 2.5 centimetres, so that's 1 inch. And we're going to score up to the score line, up to the cut line, sorry, there, and over that side. And at 5 centimetres or 2 inches, again, from that edge up to there. I know you do love a fancy fold, Louise. You are very good at them as well. And at 13 centimetres, so that one's just going to be right up to the end of our cut line. So 13 centimetres or 5 1/8 of an inch. And then we're going to score it at, so they were all from the edge up to the score line. Ah, hey Heather. Oh, bless you. I know. It's so exciting. It's on Saturday. I'm just sad I'm going to miss a lot of it, sadly. But I'll be there for my live at 8 o'clock in the evening. 8 p.m. I've got that slot. So this is 10.5 between the cut lines. Okay, so we've got 2.5 centimeters or 5 centimeters at both ends, either side of the cut line, and 13 centimeters or 5 1/8 of an inch there as well, and then 10.5 centimeters in the middle. While we've got the trimmer out, I think we'll do the cutting for bits and bobs as well. So we need a piece of card that is 8 by 8. Question is, Heather, are you going to be crafting all day along with it? I think you said you can't. You've got to catch up on some of it. I have known somebody to do most of the day, which is good going. So that's 8 centimeters by 8 centimeters in evening evergreen. And then we want some designer series paper. And I'm going to do ever such slightly different designer series paper this time round. So I've got 2 pieces here. I want the 2.5 by 7.5. So it's 2.5 by 7.5. Ah, you're going to be back for 8 o'clock. That's fantastic news. So I will see you at 8 p.m. Yeah, when I get back from a busy day, but I'm looking forward to it. And again, this is 2.5 centimeters by 7.5 centimeters. So it's 2 pieces the same there. And then we want the same designer series paper. I mean, you can change it up. You can do different papers if you want to. I've chosen all the same. And we want 2 centimeters. We want a strip that's 2 centimeters. And 7.5 by 7.5. So I do the same here. So I 7.5 by about 3 inches. And then rotate it round and cut it at 7.5. I really ought to invest in a metric blade guide, I think. Oh, you've had some wine. I'm not surprised you can't keep up with all these measurements if you've had some wine, Eloise. I will be popping it on a blog post. So no need to panic too much. But it won't be straight away. It won't be until probably Sunday I might get round to this. So there's what we've got. Real red this cardstock is. So Real Red Evening Evergreen. Mandy, you love these papers. They are gorgeous. I love this one. I did another really simplistic card, which was just white cardstock with a strip of this going over and then a leaf coming up the side. Ah, hey Hazel, good evening to you. Multitasking as usual. I think you are a multitasker. So I'm going to stick this design series paper straight down on here, and then I'll show you how to fold the card, and we'll do that before we stick the rest of the paper on, I think. I think I need a new blade in my trimmer as well. Get one out and pop it to the side. Right, so that's just stuck on there, and then these 3 are going to go onto this card here, but I'm going to show you how to fold it. So the first fold you're going to do here, this first score line, is going to be a mountain fold. So mountain is where it looks like a mountain. If you can see, that's going into a mountain. That one there is coming into a valley. And then that one there is going into a mountain. So mountain, valley, mountain. Same on both sides. So mountain, valley, mountain. And then this one here is a mountain as well. And then the whole thing just comes together like that. This will fit in a standard size envelope, 4 inches by 6 inches. So it's perfect. Don't have to get special envelopes or anything. Lovely size card. And then we're going to decorate it up. So on the one that I made previously, I've used that side of cardstock with the red dots of the DSP. This one I'm just going to go a bit more bold, and we'll see what it looks like. You can see which you prefer. I'll show you both of them. I just thought this one was quite nice where it's got the green in it as well. It's got the kind of centre of the poinsettias they've done as green. So it ties in with that little bit of evening evergreen cardstock and the design that we're going to do on the front. Because this bit here is going to be our focal point for this evening. So to put these on, just fold the card out flat again and then pop these on here like this. So you can tell when you start to need a new trimmer blade because your cut isn't as clean. I don't get glue on my fingers, but can you see just the cut has started to get a little bit frayed. I know some people leave it and leave it and leave it, but I really dislike personally the frayed edges that it gives when it starts to go. So I always keep a pack on hand and then I'm ready to change it should the need arise. Okay, pretty, huh? It's a bit overwhelming maybe, but we're going to put something on the front that's just going to really break all of that lot up. So this is going flat, this evening evergreen panel, no border with this, so it will just stick straight over there, and you want all these edges to line up neatly with the top and the sides. There you go. And then we bring in some foil. So the tic-tac-toe challenge, the elements of it were fancy fold card, check, foil, and embossing. So I'm going to cut some foil first. I'm using the stitched Stylish Shapes dies. So you get the stitched circles, rectangles and banners. When you die cut foil, always make sure you cut round it so that you don't put more than necessary through the die cut machine, because what will happen, the imprint of the plates will transfer onto the foil and you'll get a nasty impression, which is okay for most die cuts like this because we're going to cover most of it up. But if you had spare foil, you might then find it's unusable for things like bigger elements of foil. So we'll just run that through. Can you see what I mean? You just get little indentations on it. I'll blind you there, sorry. Okay, and this is going to go on with dimensionals. So you can see how it's really going to break that centre of it up. People often ask me, how many dimensionals do you use? And I use as many as I feel I need in order to maintain stability. You don't want anything kind of collapsing, but you also don't want to use too many because they're quite expensive. But they are really good. I've used other brands before, and they're just like I want to say like marshmallow, just really sticky and gooey. But these are lovely. Okay, so that's the base of our card, and then we're going to get some elements to decorate it up, I think. Because I know you all love watching me fussy cut, I am going to fussy cut the image out. And I want a whole one. So you get about 13 whole designs on a sheet. And don't waste the extras, because I did a card, I ought to revisit it actually. So you cut all of these out, these ones that are off the edge, you cut them all out, and then you line them up. You get a piece of cardstock, like a mat or like a white mat, and then this is what I would do anyway. Cut round them all and then line them up on the edges of the mat, and then you have this border of this gorgeous holly, poinsettias. So definitely don't waste those bits. Don't think, oh, I can't use them. They've been cut in half. You can definitely still use them. So I really need to make that card, I think. I'm going to fussy cut round. And again, people always ask me, why do they find fussy cutting so difficult? And I think one of the reasons, because people are too fussy. See how much of a white border I'm leaving? Really big white border all the way around there. Definitely don't cut up the lines unless I specifically want to for any reason. But I would say 95% of the time, probably even more than that, I just cut and I leave a nice big white border. It looks like a die cut. I think it looks more professional. It's much easier to do as well. A roll of dimensional. So no, we don't do a roll. We do sheets of it. So you get these sheets of the individual ones, and then you get the sheets of the little ones, like these ones, and then you get actual sheets as well. So not a roll, but actual sheets, so that you can cut them to whatever size you want to. It's stuck on the bottom, Mary. There we go. That's one of the sheets. But they are good. They are really, really good. Love them. A roll of dimensional would be quite a thing, wouldn't it? I might have to suggest it. So I hope you've all had a nice week. Half-term week this week, isn't it? And I forgot, and I went to the gym Monday, I think it was, and I was lots of little people in the swimming pool. Bless them, having a good time. So then I went a bit later on Tuesday. It can get a little bit busy, I think. Yeah, I think you're right, Eloise. Yes, there's 3 to a pack. 3 little sheets. Well, not little. I mean, you get loads on there. And you can use all the outsides as well, which is fab. Yeah, I remember I used to get different brands, and it was honestly like marshmallow. It was so gooey and sticky. Right, so that's our flour. That's our flour that we're going to pop to one side. Oh, good. I am glad that was useful. And then I'm going to do something that I don't normally do. And I don't know why I don't normally do it, but I'm going to get some Evening Evergreen cardstock. That should do us. My embossing buddy. And we're going to heat emboss onto Evening Evergreen cardstock. I know it sounds like basic, and it is basic, but for some reason I just don't often do this. So ignore what's on the other side of my block. I'm being lazy. I couldn't be bothered to get 2 blocks out. And I'm going to, excuse me, that was my head. I'm just going to stamp one of the leaves on there. And this is the Versamark that I'm using. I don't think that's going to, it is going to fit. I might not need that big piece. Yep, just about. So that's 2 of those. And then we've got the gold. And I did this on the white. I just really didn't like the look of it. And I thought, well, leaves are normally green, so why would I not do it on the green? So the embossing buddy just helps to prevent all of the powder sticking where you don't want it. Oh, eating a gummy body part. Always the head first. Jelly Baby's got to be the head first as well, isn't it? Get him out of his misery. So there we go. That's the gold on the Evening Evergreen. And then we'll heat that with the heat tool. Put the lid on. see if you can do it so you can see it change. Lovely, Eloise. Just eating an eyeball. A gummy sweet for anybody who's just joined on. So I'm just going to fussy cut these. There are dies, but I am just going to quite an easy image to fussy cut. So I'm just going to fussy cut them. I just love how that embossing powder on the green works. That gold is just gorgeous. And then you get that background because I've used the infill stamp, the one with less detail. Is that the infill or is that the detailed? I've used the detailed stamp. So there is one that goes behind this one if you wanted to add more detail in, if you were just using your inks. Ah, thanks, Nita. It's a really pretty set. The leaves are big. I must admit, when I first got them, I was like, oh, they are a focal point for sure. So the leaves are quite big. It's not like they're kind of to go behind flowers. They're much bigger than normal, but they are gorgeous. Beautiful, beautiful leaves. So you've got no problem using them as a focal point. Struggling with your kitten, you won't keep a cone of shame. Only been home from the vet. Oh, she's got, oh, bless her, off 3 times already. Oh, what a shame. They do struggle with them, don't they? I wouldn't want to wear one though either. Can you imagine somebody putting a cone around your head? And sometimes I feel like I ought to. I'm a terrible, fiddler, let's say. Picker, and sometimes I just, Russ's has a 3-letter acronym, DNT. It means do not touch. But I just can't help myself. Like your naughty little kitten. So maybe I could do with a cone of shame. How old is she? We're looking at, we'd love a kitten, I think. Oh, Louise, you must. We'll definitely have to do a class on this in the new year. Heat embossing is lovely. It's just one of those techniques. I know a lot of people say this. They forget about the techniques. They forget about the basics. I mean, it's not really a basic, is it, heat embossing? But you forget all these things and you don't use them. And yeah, you really should. I mean, it's gorgeous. Love it. 12. You might stop you eating cake if you wore a cone. Yeah, there's that too as well. We could probably be eating cake. Bless you. Right, so let's get the dies again. And I want 2 of the littler detailed ones. Oh, I do love a cake. I've got to go make some biscuits after this, ready for cuppa and card tomorrow. So luckily they're really quick to make. So let's get some white cardstock. Let's have a look, see what I can find. And I am going to die cut 2 of these. Did you buy them actually to give to people, Eloise, these sweets? So you are literally eating the trick or treat sweets. I have been known to do that myself, so I'm not judging. Last year, year before, I bought some sweets as well for all the kids, and then nobody ever came. I've since learnt that they only come if there's Halloween decorations outside, and we never do, so they were never going to come. I ate them all myself. Okay, there's one. These are pretty. Gorgeous. We're a bit posh now, so we've got gates on our house. We've got gated property, and Russ has said he's going to go out and lock the gates so that the kids can't come in. I said they'll just jump over if they want to come. I said you're more likely to attract them than deter them. Right, so you've got two of these gorgeous, gorgeous leaves. One of these, and we're going to go ahead and put it together, I think. Yeah, I'm sure you'll find something. They don't take well to fruit, apparently, trick-or-treaters. I've heard that said. So with this, make sure you don't go I would say too far above the top. So I've gone ever so slightly above the top because I measured it with the envelope. So just know what you can get away with the envelope. That's what I would say. Just measure it and make sure that you don't go above it. Otherwise, all that will happen is your leaves are going to fold down across. Okay, so that's going to go on about there-ish. And the glue takes a little bit longer to dry. Oh, what's a bodysuit for a cat? Oh, like a little suit that sits over them so they can't reach areas. Let's put a little bit more glue up here actually, just because I think that's going to stick better. So just poking up above the edge is good. And then it doesn't matter if you get gluey over here because you're going to cover it all up. There's no way it's staying on. Oh, bless her. Especially not overnight. I mean, that's the thing. You can only do what you can do during the day. And then as soon as you disappear, they're just going to rip them off, aren't they? So again, just ever so slightly above the top if you feel you need to. And then stick this other one on like this. You'll have to sew something, Mary. To make a little suit, and then that one's going to go on just like that. Maybe a little bit backwards. I am then just going to chop off the ends just in case they should happen to stick out, and then you just have to decide which way round you want your poinsettias. Really, you definitely could. I couldn't. I wouldn't know where to start with sewing something, but I'm sure you could. This is going to go on dimensionals. And that's going to, so I'm going to put it just about there, I think. Maybe a bit further up. I want to see that gold still coming out from underneath. And then I've got a little bow. I love the gold twine. I hope it always is with us. I don't think life would be the same without a little bit of gold twine. It's lovely, isn't it? The red base. I'll show you the two when we get to the end and see what you think. See which one you prefer. And then I have got a sneaky other card for us. So I've got two cards tonight. So you'll have to stick around to see the other one. Yeah, I'm intrigued to see which you prefer. So the way I do it is just bring the ends together and then just chop them together, and you think you know then. And that's just going to stick with a glue dot, a little glue dot. If I can find them. Glue dots always seem to run away. Okay, just pop that on there. So you can see I've got my 3 elements. I've got my fancy fold card, my embossing, and my foil. Challenge 1 is complete. Apart from a sentiment, which I am going to put on. So I'm going to choose Season's Greetings. That's the stamp there. The last time I did this, I did it on a die cut, but it didn't quite fit. It was just ever so slightly too big. So I'm just going to stamp it on a piece of card and then cut it to size and see how I think that looks. So I've got Evening Evergreen stamp pad. It's my Christmas Greetings stamp. I am absolutely counting the days down to Vienna. I've got 4 more days of work next week, and yeah, and then I'm off. I'm very, very, very much looking forward to going, just for a really nice breakaway with my friends. Yeah, seeing everybody, seeing all the new catalogue. Yeah, very, very excited. Well, let me put that new blade in because it's sat on the desk. Oh no, it's on the floor now. Hang on, hang on. Oh, I know, Katie. First one you've not been to. Thanks, Heather. I am glad you like it. We go on the Tuesday. I'm just going to cut this straight, I think, and I'll see if I like it or not afterwards. Yep, going on the Tuesday, and I will definitely be sharing lots. I'm going to be sharing on my social media as often as I can, when I can. There'll be things that we can and can't share at certain times, obviously because all the local ones are not until the Saturday, and we start live on the Thursday. So I just need to try and line this up. It's a little bit tricky sometimes, but I just try and get my fingers on each end. And that's going to go on there like that. Okay, so that is card number 1. So this is the card I made previous. And I wonder which you prefer. So this is far more subtle, this background, and makes the focal point stand out a bit more. And use the die here. And then this one has got a bit more interest in the designer series paper. I will definitely show you the stage design, Katie, and all the smiley faces. Oh, I will do. Thank you so much. I will have honestly the best time, I'm sure. Do cut a piece of cardstock for the inside, and that is at 7.5 by 13.5 centimeters. I'm not going to do it just because I don't actually know where my white card is, although I need a sheet because I need some for the next one. So hang on, bear with. Okay. My delivery came yesterday with 3 packs of basic white card in, so I am restocked, which is good. So we want 13.5 by 7.5. So let's do 7.5 is just under 3 inches. So 13.5 by 7.5. And then that's just for the inside of your card. You like the more patterned background? Yeah, do you know what? I think I'm going with you. I think you made a good choice there, Anita. Thanks, Hazel. We've got one more to make, so don't disappear just yet. Completely different. This was a sketch challenge, our next one. Do you know what? It's really simple. but really striking. Well, I think it is anyway, so I hope you think it is as well. So that's card number 1, and I'll move on to card number 2. All you need for card number 2 is a sheet of thick, basic white cardstock, of which I only bought 1 pack. I think I must be going mad. Who only buys 1 pack of thick, basic white when you haven't got any left? But there you go. So 14.5 centimetres. See you later, Anne-Marie. Nice to see you. Thank you for popping on. And I'll catch up with you later. Go and get some rest. By 10.5. 14.5 by 10.5. We want a piece of designer series paper. I reckon this is probably going to come together in about 10 minutes. This would be a great one to make for Christmas. And I've gone for this green stripy, and I've gone down, so I'm going to cut that at 10. By 14. I need to sneeze, and anybody who knows me knows I really shouldn't sneeze on camera. I've got the most outrageous sneeze. Me and my brother are both the same. My dad says he doesn't know where we get it from because neither him or my mum have ever sneezed like that. But there you go. Right, so that is 10 by 14. No, you didn't share, Katie. I didn't see that, so you'll have to, yeah, please do. Please send me a picky. The finished card design. I love seeing people's cards, so if you ever do want to share, please do. Post them to me, or come and join my Messy Hands craft group and then add them to there. You want a piece of real red cardstock, 8 by 8. And a piece of basic white, 7.5 by 7.5. Seven and a half by 7.5. And for anybody who's watching who doesn't know, you can purchase all these products through me in my online store, all available from Stampin' Up, but we work as demonstrators, and you'll find all the information in the description below. So if you fancy any of this stuff, you can get your hands on it. And if you fancy an even better deal, I haven't really been pushing this, but at the moment, if you join Stampin' Up, you get £154 worth of product for just £99 because we've got a joining offer on in October. And only a few days left to make the most of it. So the link again, just in the description below, or give me a shout out, ask me any questions you've got. Okay, so that's our panel. We want two of these, and again I'm going to fussy cut them on screen because I think it's only really fair that you get to see what how long it actually takes. So made from scratch. I'm going to use this one even though this corner is cut off, because I'm going to use 2 and they're going to overlap this time. So that one and that one. So some of these are double flowers, some are single flowers. Oh, I think I'll just cut the petal tip off, but you know, I'm sure it will regrow. We'll fussy cut these out. Can't beat a good pair of paper snips. Can you see how I'm just turning the cardstock here? I know, right? £154. Yep, it's normally 130 for 99, but in October there's this special offer. So yeah, it's a cracker, isn't it? I really should have shared more of that because yeah, it's a bargain. You wanted a pickup tool. Oh, that's all right, Louise. I can get you one of those. I haven't ordered yet for the other things that you wanted, so that's no problem at all. I've got class tomorrow, so I was going to see if I pick up any orders there and anything. Yep, anything that anybody local wants, give me a shout. I haven't ordered yet, so I can add that to a workshop order. No problem at all. I use my pickup tool. Do you know, I used it the other day for something that most people probably don't use it for. I'll show you. This card's going to take longer to make because I'm going to show you this. So on your take your pick tool, you get these. Petal tips have feelings. You get this pokey tool, you get the pickup tool, and then you get this thing. Do you know what I nearly always use this for? If you've stuck a piece of cardstock down and you want to lift it off, you just get under here. And it's because if you've done a design and then realize you don't like the background, if you can get that under there and then kind of scrape, it takes the cardstock off much better than just trying to pull it and lift it off, which is almost impossible to do. It does work better if you've used a snail rather than a Tombow. And obviously the amount of glue you use will affect it as well. But yeah, that's what I nearly always use that spatula for. So it's a bit sticky. My one. Okay, there's one. And here's the second one. I think I've got 2 packs of this paper. The question is, do we think I need any more of these flowers? 13 on a sheet, 4 sheets, 52, if my maths is good. Thanks, Louise. I will do. I'll give you a shout. They're not dear. They're only about £10. Not too bad at all. Good idea. Not that you'd ever need to do that. Is that sarcasm there, Louise? I always need to do it. I'm always changing my mind. I'm like, well, I've made the card front up and I don't want to spoil it all. Forever peeling things off, or peeling things off that you stuck on wonky. That's the other one. How many times do you think, you spend ages, don't you, thinking, I've lined it up, I'll line it up straight, I'll get it really straight, and then you stick it down and you go, what? How is that still wonky? Thanks, Katie. I shall have a look. I shall check it out when I come offline. Once I've tidied up, probably. I need to tidy up first, straight away, because otherwise it's just going to get left and left. Okay, so flower number 2 is cut. Let's get rid of all the offcuts. I'm going to stick this down first with dimensionals. So 2 in the corners, 4 in the corners, 2 across the middle, 1 there, 1 there. And that should hold it. You should see the mess when you're crafting, how many mistakes you make. Like the rest of us. Do you know what? The only thing I say to people is you don't see what ends up in my bin. Only I see what ends up in the bin, and you'd be surprised, I think. And how many half-finished projects? That's the worst, isn't it? When you just get halfway through it and you just go, I'm stuck now. I don't know how to do it. I've got Merriest Moments. I have got Merriest Moments. I don't know what that was in relation to. I've gone behind. I'm behind the curve again. I've got a terrible memory. I don't remember what we were talking about, but it was probably really important. Okay, so I'm just going to stamp another greeting here, and you can see this is going to be a really simple card. Okay, when you're batch making Christmas cards, you don't want anything that takes too long. So season's greetings. And I always try and do this against the flat of a piece of cardstock, so that you've only got one line to cut. And then I didn't really make it wide enough, but I am going to cut these on the diagonal. Because I just wanted a little bit of interest. This one's going to go on dimensionals. Definitely use this for batch making, Heather. Yeah, this is a great design for it. And then when you run out of this paper, check out, if you haven't seen it already, the design I did. I'll see if I can find it and send it to you. The design I did with the red strip of paper across the front and just the die cut holly leaf, because that was another really quick one to come together. And we all love a special Christmas card, don't we? But there's only so much time we've all got. So these ones are good, I think, for speed and getting things to come together quickly. So let's go there. Ah, thanks, Anita. Pretty. That one's going to go there like that, I think. So I'm going to put two. The way I do this, so this is up on dimensionals. So where the banner is going to go across, we want one dimensional. And then where it's not going to be up, we want two dimensionals, because we need that to bring it up in line with the other one. I know. Do you know what, Mary? I wasn't sure when I first saw this paper, and actually I don't think I'd have got this sweet at all if we hadn't had it for the stamp camp. But my hand was forced. I got it, and I actually really like it. I've done a lot with it. So another bow, because a card's not a card. A Christmas card's not a Christmas card without a silver or gold twine bow. Again, just grab hold of the ends and then trim them both together. Grab a glue dot wherever they've gone, and then I've got something really special to show you at the end. I think it's special anyway. Just a little finishing touch. It's one of those statements, isn't it? I think it's really special, and you'll all be like, really? Waited around for that. There we go. So there's our bow with the glue dot. And then we've got these gorgeous pearlized enamel effects basics, or as I've heard Barry and Jay from Medusa Crafts calling it, peebs. Some peebs. I'm not sure. I'm not sold on the name. We're going to put one there, and you just squeeze it, and you can create your own pearls. So you can have them as big or as small as you want them. Personally, and you have to do this quite gently, I then take my card and I tap it on the edge of the desk. Because what that does, it just helps the pearl to round off. Rather than giving a pointy top, a little pointy tip, it just helps to flatten it out slightly, round it off slightly. I know, peebs. I'm not convinced, but you know, it might catch on. And there's our two cards. You do have to wait. Now these are much quicker drying than some of the other browns I've used to use. Yeah, I had the same problem with my swaps, Katie. So what Katie's saying there, even when they're dry, if you put a card on top of it, this one will be okay because the pearls are actually lower than the whole dimension of the card. But if they're not, and they're the thing that stands proud, if you put cards on top of cards, they end up squishied and a little stickied, which is a real shame. So don't stack your cards unless the pearls are lower than the top element of your card. And they dry much quicker. So these dried in I probably did that about half an hour ago. Well, no, it was more than that now, wasn't it? But they probably dry in about half an hour. Is that straight? You see, I've done it again. I'm not entirely sure that is straight. Yes, you can, Mary. You can indeed. You can take these, you can do them on glue dots, or you can do them on acetate. Wait for them to dry. Thanks, Anita. You take care of yourself, and I'll see you on Saturday. I shall look forward to seeing you at the craft fair. So yes, you can, and then you can peel them off, and put them in a little tub for later. They're a bit plasticky. They're not kind of rock solid, but just wait for them to dry completely. So there we go. That is that, my lovely ladies and gents, if you're watching. Did a bunch of them, put them in a pot for safekeeping. Yep, Yeah, Jay did. I saw that. Yeah, and do them on the back of the glue dots. So you get your string of glue dots. Do them all over the back of the glue dots, and then you've got them all there, ready to go. But I must admit, I quite like using them just as is on the card. Oh, you're more than welcome, Heather. More than welcome. Like I say, I'll be sharing them in the group, but you didn't get to see how they were made. So I thought dual purpose them as well. I was getting a bit stressed because of time and everything. And I thought, oh, well, let's just dual purpose. So glad you have fun. Thank you ever so much for spending your Thursday evening with me, or any time of the day if you've been watching on the catch up. It's a real pleasure to have you join us. And if you ever want to come back and say hi on a Thursday evening, 8 o'clock, apart from next week, no, I will be here next week. I'm working days. Ah, yes, Danielle, see you in Vienna. Very excited. So I'll see you next Thursday. And then the week after that, I won't see you because I'll be in Vienna having a fab time. Yes, a stepper card, a fun fold card for you guys. Not my favourite, but I actually really like that one. Look after yourselves, stay safe, take care, and I will see you all again next time. Bye for now. Bye, guys.